Doodle bug. Hi, everybody. Hello, all my Aquariuses. I'm sorry when you guys never see this cat. This is Doodle, and right as the video was starting, my Doodle buggins walked into the room, was staring at me like, "Mama." So anyway, I was showing you who Doodle is. Doodle, do you want to get up here? Do you want to get up here with Mama? Because you're looking really weird. Doodle bugging. Maybe not. All right. Anyway, sorry to be bugging you with all that. Anyway, this is your home light security reading for April, but I know I'm kind of late getting into it, so I'm going to give you like a little heads up as to the energies that are coming in, so you can also start to address it as we move into the following month. Aquarius this is all about your self communication and your inner emotional security. And are you coming back to your soul self? Are you truly coming full circle in your soul self? Because this is really what this is going to be coming down to being about. Are you starting to create in the three-dimensional world the ability to communicate yourself to yourself, the not ability, but the acceptance and approval is what I'm being given. The approval of loving yourself. Yeah. Of loving yourself and knowing yourself on all levels and communicating not just with your spirituality, with your higher self, but truly with yourself. And then where is that taking how you communicate with the outer world? And it is saying that you are dealing with some relationship grief here, as well as some personal judgment, and it's being held in the heart space as well as the throat chakra is what I'm being given. And that means acceptance, forgiveness, approval, like I was just saying, self-expression, as well as listening and hearing. Hearing's funny, and you guys know that. Yeah, because I'm being pushed on that right now. Hearing is funny. Are you hearing what's being said, or are you listening to what's being said to you? And what I mean by that is there's a big difference between, the here, rush, we got to do a million things in our world. Let's go. This is what somebody said to you. Or on that empath level, are you able to interpret the way it was expressed? Are you truly listening to what's being said to you and reading between the lines and understanding it? Or are you trying so hard to keep up that you're missing some of it, is what I'm getting. Are you allowing it to spiritually connect? Let me see what the cards have to say. And then, I'm sorry, Doodle bugging. I hit his tail and he got mad and walked away. Let's see what the cards have to say for you guys as we come through the rest of April and begin the next month. What does Aquarius need to hear that will help them move on? What does Aquarius... Oh, my cards are a little wrong. Hold on a second as I adjust them. I'm one of those people, all my cards have to be the same direction, and if they're meant to be flipped over, well, then they'll flip themselves over. I don't know. It's just one of the way things are for me. And when my cards are not all in the right direction, they kind of tell me, no, I'm not going to work. So, what does Aquarius need to hear? Spirit is saying for some of you, you need to get out of your pride, because your pride is making you hold on to anger and you know better than that, or you're above that, that's only keeping you in an insecure energy. Okay, what do the cards have to say? Aquarius. Let's shuffle you just a little bit. Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to hear? Thank you. You have the Wheel of Fortune if you'd only believe in it. I mean, this is a really good thing. And I say if because I am feeling like it's there, but like I feel like it's there and I feel like you believe in it, but your doubt may keep you from it. And this is stop doubting. This is stop doubting. This is a direction of new healing, new beginnings, new receiving. This is, about actual potential. But if you don't believe in the potential to take the shift for the wheel, well, then you're getting it kinked up. So you got to get out of your own way of the resentment and the things that you're holding on to from a lower vibrational ego sense, because that's only going to keep you make it move slower. What else? What else does Aquarius need to hear? And for some of you, I don't know who all it's for, but it's apparently important. For some of you, you are definitely suppressing some anger. And that doesn't mean that you need to blow up, but you do need to be forthcoming. You do need to figure out what that anger is about and either communicate it to yourself properly or be forthcoming with whoever it is that you're upset with. But I want to say, on a vibrational level, see, I don't see anger as such an incredibly bad thing. I mean, it is bad depending on how you act with it. But see, I've come to learn on a spiritual level, sometimes the anger and this is suppressed anger, so this is trying to avoid it or ignore it. But when we address what makes us mad, it's because we're no longer lying to ourselves. That's why we're feeling it. It's not like you should go out and beat somebody up or do something. Maybe you might want to, become part of a gym so you can get your anger out in a healthy way. But this is suppressed anger, as in resentment, and you're holding on to it in that grief, sorrow, shame, blame energy is what I'm being given. Prideful, not really wanting to admit it, and coming full circle with this communication with yourself will allow you to understand a deeper level of truth. And I always say, I'm like, when I'm mad, for a long time, I'm a Leo. I'm a very bold person, and I never can understand. My vibration is very high and is very speedy. You can tell by who, just me talking and who I am. And for me, I've learned in the past that when I'm angry, it's like I said, it's not telling me to go out and do bad things, but it's telling me what I'm angry about is because I'm no longer lying to myself about it. And when you address what it is that you are subconsciously lying to yourself about, then you can address the truth behind it and what the healing needs to be. The next card that's coming out for you is, for me, this means you're creating your own reality. And this can be a glorious card, or it can be a very bad card. And considering it's coming out when I'm speaking about suppressed anger, this is saying stop screwing yourself over by keeping yourself in a lower vibration that you're not ready to address and grow and understand. Face the truth. Take the time to discover and take that inner inventory and walk through what that anger is about, what that grief, sorrow, shame is about, where you're in denial of that proper communication, and what that does to your inner emotional security. And then you can start creating in a healthy way where you're trying to take the energy. Don't create from the vibration of the denial, create from the vibration of the consciousness so that you can actually take it where you're trying to truthfully take it. But until you see that truth, you're not going to be able to come that full circle. Now, what else does Aquarius need to hear for the end of April and the beginning of the next month? What else? April and May for Aquarius. April and May for Aquarius. In a second, I'm going to switch to the other deck. If you don't let me find it. Okay, hold on. Because apparently, for whatever reason, it's going to come out of here. Because they keep pushing me on that repressed anger, and the pride. Which is all coming down to acceptance and loving yourself and coming back to inner emotional security through a place of inflexibility of what you're afraid to address. And that has something to do with where the healing is supposed to be taking you, period. What is it that Aquarius needs to hear? What is it that Aquarius needs to hear? What is it that Aquarius needs to hear for the second half of this month and the beginning of next month? You know what? I don't think it's a card. I think they're wanting me to feel the deck in general. And what I mean by that is all of the cards seem to be very hot, which I feel like, strangely enough, the card I did pull is your roots. And what I was going to say is your full wholeness, your full circle. You got to come through this full circle in order to find your roots, in order to receive that healing that needs to be. Next thing that I picked up was communication. I feel like this is really what it comes down to, is the ballsier you are to come full circle with yourself, the further you'll go. Now, let's see what the astrology specifically has to say for you. And I'll walk you through that. All right, Aquariuses. You are technically in, like I said, your third house, getting ready to go into your fourth house. And I mean it literally that way because on the 19th, the sun is leaving Aries and it goes into Taurus. Now, and I will hit the full moon when I get to the house the full moon takes place in. Mercury just left Aries. You have the sun on the 19th that's going to be leaving Aries. And you have Pallas that's going to be leaving Aries. The only thing that's going to still remain here is Chiron, which will constantly be teaching you about communicating with yourself in healthier ways of acceptance and allowing yourself to come full circle into your soulfulness. Now, right now, it's illuminating a specific area. And as the sun and Pallas go over this, it's going over Eris, which is the goddess of trouble, toil, strife, and injustice. It's the power of resentment itself. What are you holding on to? Vampire syndrome is what I just heard. So in your communication, where is it that you keep returning to the same thing in your head and get into the, well, I could have, should have, would have. If I said it that way, if I would have just done that, I should have done this. Maybe it would have been different if I didn't. No, that stuff will drive you insane. And that is the coulda, shoulda, woulda. That is the resentment, the guilt, the sorrow, the shame, the insecurity within the communication that you have in your own mind. That is where you're actually in that lower vibration of the mind chatter, and the sun is illuminating it right now, because until the 19th, when she actually crosses over Eris And Pallas actually crosses over Eris. You're talking about strategic thinking and illuminating of the way the communication in your mind is actually more negative and harmful than it is helpful. And what are you doing with that outwardly after you've allowed it to cement into the brain? Now, just as importantly, when it leaves that third house of communication, the sun is going to be entering into your fourth house. So, what about this inner mind chatter is going into the fourth house and actually cementing the way that you view your inner emotional security, your roots? It's your personal foundation. It's your inner child of what strengthened or nurtured or was neglected that has made those roots either very firm, very functional, or riddled and falling apart. You have to understand the fourth house is not just the home, because we have a three-dimensional home, the four walls that are around us that make us feel secure, but the vessel itself is what's holding the soul. And you can't lose the vessel unless you misplace it. I mean, the soul inside of the vessel, unless you misplace it, unless you don't believe in it, unless you're not listening to the proper communication. Are you listening to your more negative points of view? And are you taking that communication into what's securing your inner emotional security? What's securing your roots? Are you connecting those roots and that inner emotional security to a false narrative, to a false truth, to something that's more comfortable to hold on to, like vampire syndrome? And I say it that way because I always call vampire syndrome like when in the movies, vampires sucking the blood and they know they got to stop at a certain time because you can't keep sucking on dead blood. So are you in dead blood? Are you keep bringing yourself the dead blood? Are you sucking on vampire syndrome, which will ultimately harm you? Are you bringing in the bad vibrations because you're allowing your Eris energy, as the sun illuminates it, as Athena, the warrior goddess, which is Pallas, takes that wisdom and strategic thinking and is resetting your inner emotional security? Are they setting it from ill blood? Are they setting it from, you know, holding on to making comfortable the energy of the uncomfortable, lower vibration that's actually keeping you down, actually keeping you from believing in yourself and going back to the, well, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. This is a big about what's going on right now. And like I said, on the 19th, the sun moves into that second house, where we also have Mercury here, which is going right back to the communication again. On a universal scale, that's your fourth house is actually your second house, which speaks to you about your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. Again, exactly what I'm saying. See, I'm channeling this right. And it's telling, are you coming into valuing yourself or devaluing yourself within your own personal communication? Because if you're devaluing yourself, you're giving your power away. You're not trusting in your power. You're not believing in yourself. This is asking you to stop doing that. Uranus is going to be here for several more years, trying to also teach you this very lesson. But at this moment, you're getting double teamed hard on it and asking if you can step into a new tomorrow of believing in yourself. Now, your fifth house has everything to do with your fourth house. Your fifth house is your inner expression, your inner creativity, your inner child. And your inner child helps you connect to, you know, that inner belief system that the inner ability, like you like our invisible friends, the able to play and breathe life into something. So, or if you're coming into an expression of your value, your worth, your self esteem being in question, and lowering that vibration, not accepting that vibration, and putting yourself in a lower spot, then that's going to also lower your ability to believe in anything that you can create. And you have Cirrus here, which is asking you to nurture your creation, nurture yourself. Stop neglecting the parts that will actually take from you, but start nurturing it, pampering it, giving it the time and the space it needs. Now you have Lilith on the 19th. Mars is moving into Pisces on the 19th, which we will come back for when I get to that, because we start where the sun is. And Lilith on the 19th is also moving out of Gemini, your fifth house, and moving into your sixth house, which is your daily routines, your mundane tasks. There's nothing mundane about the mundane. It's only looked at as mundane because it's so trivial, so something that we do every single day that we forget to acknowledge how important it is, but it's one of the most powerful levels of our manifestation. And Lilith is leaving that expression and going into the mundane. And she's asking you in your daily activities, again, are you nurturing or neglecting? We get up every day, we brush our teeth, we take our shower, we eat our breakfast, we go off to work. What do? Who are the people, the places, and the things of energies that we consume? Because it consumes us and it creates our manifestation. Are we surrounded by people, places, and things that help us see us for the glorious souls that we are? Or are they not nurturing us, but actually teaching us to neglect what's important? Lilith here is not in her most powerful place. Lilith is coming into Cancer, which is the universal fourth house, which is asking you, can you trust in your own independence, your individuality? Can you believe in who you are? Can you accept who you are? Can you breathe life into it? Because if you can't, then you'll remain submissive. And then you'll just follow suit according to the people, places, and things of energies that you keep. Do you want to be just as important, just as balanced? Do you want to be part of the group? Or do you want to be one of the people behind the group that's looking in but don't really feel like you're part of it? Are you feeling like you're part of your tribe? Or are you feeling like you're outside of your tribe looking in but not fully one of them? If you're feeling this, this is because of the submissive energy that you're learning to address and stop doing. Start coming into your value, your independence. This is what this energy is trying to teach you right now. Not just, like I said, this starts on the 19th, but this is going to be going on for the entire month until Lilith leaves. So this is going to be going on into next month. Now, you don't have anything in your seventh or eighth house, but in your ninth house. And as you leave the ninth house and you come into your 10th house, we're getting right back into the same kind of energy for you. It's funny because it just keeps circling how much I want you to believe in yourself, how much I want you to accept yourself, because this full moon is taking place in the relationship zone on a universal scale. But for you, it's your ninth house. But it's leaving the ninth and going directly into your 10th, into Scorpio. Because the full moon takes place on the cusp of Libra as it goes into Scorpio. And it's crossing over Haumea, which is Haumea's energy is the collective consciousness. All right. So this is saying in the relationships, are you using the collective consciousness to be part of the relationship, to be balanced and even and fair and just within it, to set the proper rules, walls, and boundaries to pull yourself into the tribe? Or are you going to sit on the outside of the tribe and look in? This is asking you to believe in yourself. You can only be part of the tribe when you put yourself in it, when you believe in yourself. Nobody else doesn't not believe in you. But if you stay, what is that proper word, you Aquariuses love? Um, that's really what this lesson is coming down to. This is coming into self-motivated, action-oriented, self-assertive energy, finding the will to believe in that energy. It's coming back into stop allowing yourself to be introverted. If you're so introverted that you can't believe in yourself and love yourself and accept yourself, then how do you expect everybody else to accept you? Because you're not accepting you. Wow, that's a very powerful message. And that's coming up with your full moon. But more importantly, this is a dark month. You have two new moons that are taking place, and the second one's taking place on an eclipse. So this is asking you really come out of that inverted nature, come back and come into full circle of acceptance of yourself and bring yourself into the tribe. Know that you're part of the tribe. Allow yourself to be, balanced and even with everybody else. Don't hold on to the pride, which is actually the lower vibration of, feeling rejected or repressed, holding on to anger and not thinking that you add up because you're believing in your insecurity. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. You're above this. You're Aquarius. This is the age of Aquarius. And as I was starting the video, that's what I kept hearing. It's the age of Aquarius. So start being part of the age of Aquarius. It's time. Oh God, this is so good for you guys. I love this. I mean, it's not saying that it's easy, but this is good for you. It's helping you rise. Phoenix. Now, the only thing you have in your 12th house is very powerful because everybody's moved out now. It's Pluto. Which makes so much sense to end this with. Pluto is on its last 2 years of being in Capricorn. And then when it moves into Aquarius, your sign, it's going to take on a whole new kind of energy. And it's at its last messages that it can give you. It's kind of like kicking down the door now, which is exactly what this month and next month is looking like for you. And Pluto, for all intents and purposes, the way my guides give it to me, is though I walk through the shadow of death, I will fear no damn evil. Well, the only evil that you're fearing is coming into your own self. Because the 12th house is grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities. It is our self-undoing. It is our self-sabotage. It is our self-deception. This is telling you whatever happened in your past that made you doubt your worth, your value. Stop it. There's so much healing to be brought here. There's so much power to be brought here that it will change your magic. It will change the way you view the world if you can start coming into this full circle energy. This is glorious. And that energy is going to kind of be there for the next 2 years. But it's just amplifying what's already going on for you in the next 2 months and trying to give you, what is it? One of those 2 steps forward instead of finding out that in a year and a half, you have to take 3 steps back just so that you can turn around and take 6 steps forward. This is your cheating time to get ahead of the schedule. I love you guys. This is awesome. I just hope that you believe in yourself because you have gloriousness inside of you. Bye, guys. Turn off.